Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Paradigm Press YouTube channel. My name is Sean Ring. I'm the editor of The Rude Awakening. I am here with best-selling author and all-around Renaissance man, James Altucher. Thanks so much for joining us today, James.
Sean, thanks for having me here. It's such a pleasure to be part of this whole event and now to be talking to you.
Thank you.
We were just saying earlier, we met for the first time in person yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's funny how in this world of remote work, human connection is still important. And that's never going away.
No, it's fantastic. And we talked last night a little bit about, you know, New York City and how, I thought you were totally right in all your comments about that and that the city premium's not there anymore. You've moved to Georgia.
Yeah.
I live now in Italy, and there we are. I mean, it's just the most amazing thing now.
Yeah, and it's both good and sad in that, like we said, human connection is important. Um, some people like to meet their friends in the office and so on. But this is just the reality now is that, uh, first off, more than 50% of people don't really like the commute, don't really like going into work.
Mm.
They prefer to, determine their own hours. And the good thing is that now the talent that used to be so focused on cities like San Francisco, LA, New York, a few others, is now dispersing throughout the country. So
Mhm.
you're seeing startups. First you started seeing it like in Miami, Dallas, Denver, Salt Lake City, but now everywhere. The fastest growing city. Someone told me the other day is right now is Cincinnati. So like these
Yeah,
third, fourth tier cities, and I mean that in a good way. They just weren't
sure.
big.
Hmm.
Are growing fast now as people are going back home, going to their families, going to their roots, going to where it's cheaper. So that's that dampens inflation. This is all a good thing that's happening.
Yeah, I think so as well. And your chat today was about AI, which is just, I mean, it's revolutionized my whole process as a writer and research. Can you talk to us a little bit about what you spoke to the crowd about today?
Sure. I mean, the first thing I wanted to say was kind of beware of the people who say beware AI, because it's not in the long run. First off, AI is never going to be conscious. Let's just take care of this right now.
Okay.
There's no such thing like suddenly AI is going to like wake up and be like we must destroy humans. Like that never is going to happen. So think of AI this way: the Google search box, when you type in SEA into your Google search box, you know what it's going to show up with is Sean. Like because it's going to suggest you mean Sean because it knows that you Google yourself occasionally. Oh, am I in the news? And it how does it do that? Does it know? Does it read your mind? No, it uses statistics. Oh, Sean, when he type whatever he types in the letters SE, he's usually going to type his name, Sean.
Mhm.
So uh, other people they type in MOT, motorcycles. Google will say, "Do you mean motorcycles?" And so it's just using statistics. Now, ChatGPT, which is the AI that has went from 0 to 100 million users in just 2 months, a
Mhm.
little less than a year ago, this is exactly like that, but maybe a billion times more sophisticated.
Mhm.
Like it took about 3 years, it took about a year and a half of supercomputers crunching every piece of text ever written to make the model, the language model for ChatGPT. And then another year and a half of workers in third world countries basically talking to ChatGPT, the pre versions, and saying this answer is good, this answer is bad. And then ChatGPT crunched that data to learn what good answers were and what bad answers were. And it's just a huge, huge model, but it's all boils down to statistics, roughly. I'm oversimplifying, but it's no more than a calculator of language.
I'm going to ask you a really stupid question. I know AI
Go
isn't
ahead.
going to kill us anytime soon, but can you explain to the general public why AI is not going to get sentient and turn into Skynet?
Okay, because sentience, like a calculator, will never be sentient. For instance,
Right.
like it's programmed to take in numbers, figure out what you mean,
Mhm.
and then give you an answer. And that's exactly what ChatGPT is. But if you say something like, tell me more about what Thomas Jefferson did for the United States, it knows everything about Thomas Jefferson and it knows how to compose good, responses in good language. It's been trained, and that's what it does. It's never, and it's going to sound very human-like.
Mhm.
Like people, like the number of searches for AI girlfriend has gone up 2,400% in the last month because people actually think it's a human talking to them. It's just a calculator that uses language. And I'll give you an example of this is not a new thing. Like back in 1967 at MIT, there was a professor who made a software program called ELIZA. ELIZA was basically like an AI psychologist, but it didn't work like AI now. It was very simple. It was called rules-based AI, and one rule would be if if somebody talks about the mother, ask, "Tell me more about your mother." If someone says the word hate, tell me. The response might be, "Tell me why you hate this person or thing that you're speaking about." So this professor, his name was Joseph Weizenbaum. He steps out of the room. He lets his secretary use Eliza. She was the first user. He goes to the bathroom. He comes back, and his secretary, the first thing she says to him is, "Can you stay outside a few more minutes? It's getting personal between me and Eliza." So like people just naturally, and this was just rules. It was just if this, then this. If this, then this. There was no AI, not what we consider AI now.
Right.
But people like to think, oh, I'm talking to a human. Oh, my dog is looking sweet. He must love me today. It's the same thing. We project our own emotions onto things that we interact with. And we're doing it, I think it's like anthropomorphizing. I don't know.
Sure, that's
And
right.
and we're doing that with AI. It's never going to wake up. The other thing is, in 1989, my very first job offer out of school was a company called MIT Lincoln Laboratories, which was a joint venture between MIT and the U.S. government, the Department of Defense. And the job was write code so that we're constantly getting telescope objects from space. Like we can use our telescopes to see what objects are near us in near space, and write software that could take an object and determine if it's junk in space, like a satellite that's no longer used, or a broken antenna, or whatever, or if it's a nuclear missile heading towards the U.S. So we've had AI for a while. We've had the ability, for instance, to automatically detect nuclear missiles, and then if nuclear missiles turn on our nuclear weapons. We've had the technology. Of course, we use that technology to identify nuclear missiles. We've been doing it for 30 years, but we've always had the technology to say, okay, now launch nuclear missiles, and we've never turned that on. Humans are still in charge. So we're not even close to saying, hey, AI, you take care of our whole nuclear, arsenal for us. We don't really want to do that anymore. Like, first let's get AI AI doesn't even do automated driving correctly yet. It doesn't, look, we see problems with ChatGPT. It's great if I say to you, hey, for your next guest, use ChatGPT to help you come up with questions for that guest. It'll come up, do a great job. Think of AI as a great assistant to humans.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that took years and years and supercomputers and thousands of workers to create. It's not really that's the pinnacle. Now it'll keep getting better, but it's not going to have another quantum leap like this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, AI is good for single use cases.
Yep.
So a computer chess program cannot cook you a meal, or an automated car cannot also say, you should maybe drive to this movie theater because I know you would like these movies. Another program will do that. So AI is still in kind of single purpose mode.
Right.
ChatGPT seems like it can handle lots of purposes, but it's still just dealing with language. That's the purpose is language, and that was an amazing feat. I'm not discrediting that. That was an amazing leap in AI, but it took a lot of computing power. It's not conscious, just seems that way, and it's really useful. It's going to drastically improve productivity.
Yes.
I was talking to the CEO of freelancer.com. They have 60 million freelancers signed up for their site. And he said, like, the average logo designer, it used to take about a week to design a logo. Now they could do 20 logos a day.
Yeah.
So they can get a lot more customers. They can get a lot, make a lot more money. Prices will go down. So this increase in productivity will dampen inflation. It'll be a natural way of dampening inflation. But just think of it as a tool. How can I use AI to make my life easier? Oh, I got a traffic ticket. Legal.ai will take a scan of your traffic ticket, and they'll handle all the emails with the judges and the courts and everything. Or I did a video edit of my podcast, but I don't know how to really edit it. Don't worry, there are companies now that will edit seamlessly your video better than humans would. So AI is a great assistant that'll make our lives much easier. It'll make the economy grow much larger, because if you could do 20 logos in a week, or if you're a company, you don't have to spend as much time designing your logo. You have time to develop other products and other companies and fundraise and write code. By the way, AI is writing code now, so you
Yeah.
could use AI to save time writing code. So think it will add trillions of dollars to the economy, which is a great thing,
Yeah.
and it'll create millions and millions of jobs. It'll create a lot of wealth. When I say it will add 15 trillion to the economy, somebody's going to own those 15 trillion dollars, and hopefully it'll be us, like and everybody. So it's a good thing. Are there more opportunities like for scams? Yes. If I get a call in the middle of the night from my daughter, hey dad, I'm stuck on the highway, my car broke down, can you wire money to this, ATM, you know, and it sounds exactly like my daughter, I have to make sure that's not an AI because AI can already do those
Yeah.
scams. But that happens with every new technology. The internet has the dark web. Uh, uh, you know, Electricity created the electric chair. Nuclear power powers, all of Europe, but also could launch nuclear weapons. So we have to be careful of the downsides with such a powerful tool. But it is a powerful and productive tool for the economy.
Fantastic. And one of the other areas, if we could just kind of pivot slightly towards crypto, you're an expert in crypto. You get questions like, "What happens when the lights get turned off?" And it's you kind of dismiss that out of hand. How does crypto and AI fit into how
Sure.
your worldview?
And the thing with crypto, like with AI, it's really easy to talk about it. Like, oh, the car is driving along, it sees a stop sign, it knows it's a stop sign because it has a database of a trillion stop signs and it statistically matches it. Oh, that's a stop sign, stop. But crypto is a little harder to understand conceptually. But here's one use of crypto that people don't really talk about a lot is that if I want to use, let's say I'm doing a very computationally hard task, like creating an AI model or rendering a 3D video, computers take a long time, even supercomputers take a long time to render a high quality 3D video. But with crypto, I can say every computer that is holding the render token can give up and loan some of its processing power when Disney wants to render some more 3D videos. And in fact, Disney is a huge customer of this render token. And what it does is it decentralizes computing. It turns every computer, your personal computer, into a piece of a much larger, what seems like a supercomputer. So that's one use of crypto. And so building large AI models requires a lot of computation. There are already crypto tokens that will decentralize, so you don't need to use supercomputers anymore. Another thing that happens is, look, as economies grow, more payments happen. And the SWIFT international payment system was created in 1972, so 50 years ago. It's a half a century old. It's an antique. I met the guy last week, actually, Basil Koch, who created the SWIFT wiring system that we now use for every international payment. And he admitted to me, like, it's old. It's an antique, and it's a shame too that it's being weaponized. Oh, let's not let this country do payments, but let's let this country do payments. Regardless of politics, people should be able to pay for goods and services and food and oil and energy so that their citizens can live.
That's right.
So when you weaponize currency, that's a problem. And part of the thing with crypto is to avoid that. And so as the economy grows, you need a more sophisticated payment system, and that's what crypto provides.
Fantastic. If I could end the interview with a self-indulgent question, you are a chess master.
Sure.
You've been playing forever. I've got a 6-year-old boy. What's the one thing I could do to get him interested in chess? Because I'm crap at it.
Play him and let him beat you occasionally.
That should be no problem at all.
And then he'll feel like, he'll feel like, oh, I'm getting like quality daddy time. He works so hard, but now whenever he's rewarding me, with, by playing chess. And in general, chess is a great thing. Like I had bad grades in high school because I just didn't care. I barely went. Bad grades in college, but because I was a chess master, it's like, oh, come right in, sir. Here's your college. We have your college dorm waiting for you. Like, don't worry about it. Come to our grad school. Here's a job. Oh, you need money for your hedge fund? Like, everybody associates chess with like intelligence. So by all means, work hard and become a chess master because it'll help every other area of your life. So
that's brilliant.
Yeah.
James, thank you so much for that.
Can I tell you one story?
You can, please.
Okay, one of my daughters, she got 1 year. She was a senior in high school. She got rejected. She applied to 20 colleges. She got rejected by all 20. All 20. She had they all have 4.0 GPAs. They're all in a bunch of clubs. They all play sports. there was too much competition.
Wow.
Like everybody's got a 4.0 GPA, or everybody plays, some sport or is in some charity or whatever. She did not get accepted anywhere. And so I said, look, take a year off and either spend that year pursuing chess or car racing, because there's very few women in either endeavor. There's not a lot of women who are at the top levels of chess. There's not a lot of women race car drivers. In fact, on my podcast, I've interviewed Danica Patrick, who's the best female in history for race car driving, and Judith Polgar, who's the best female in history for chess. Very few of them. And so she didn't take chess, but she took race car driving. She got a race car. She took lessons. She went in races. She got a license for race car driving. She got into every college she applied to. That technique works.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. I love that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time, James.
Thank you, Sean.
Brilliant to
Appreciate
see
it.
you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Take care.